Hey everyone, and welcome to the video today. Apologies if my voice sounds a bit funny, I'm currently suffering from a cold, but we have brand new Sonic Forces footage. Now this was provided by a IGN first, as it is the Summer of Gaming, which is held by sort of Jeff Keighley and IGN. It's essentially the Game Awards, but in summer, but obviously there's no awards. It's essentially the replacement for E3. But anyway, nonetheless, here's the footage you can watch yourself, and after the footage I'm going to do a full breakdown analysis of it. So here you go, here is the first 30-second footage of Sonic Frontiers. So anyway, I'm going to go and essentially break down the footage for you and go through each individual section individually. So I'm going to start off in the footage. We can see Sonic running through a field of flowers with lots of towers that we've seen before, with some floating rails in the background. We have a strange tower in the middle, followed by a sort of large tower where obviously Sonic can get up to the top of it. We did see this in the last sort of gameplay reveal footage, but this obviously is proper gameplay. Obviously there's no HUD or anything, no map, but we can at least see Sonic moving and we can see some combat. Okay, so going into the next segment, we can see Sonic behind him. He's in sort of a field area with some bridges, very Eggman-esque sort of design. We can see him on some kind of circular treadmill running along to power up something. Next up, we can obviously see after he's powered up whatever he's done on the treadmill, we can see a question mark icon in red, followed by some springs, and obviously it can send when Sonic powers up the treadmill, it sends some kind of signal going outwards. We can see some rocks piled up on the side there. This could be the indication of perhaps gravestones, or it's just rocks piled up, I don't know. But yeah, we can see rings with springs sort of lined up there. We can see some rings across the bridges in the background, and obviously some more floating rails. What these are currently, we don't know. I think this is part of the whole mystery of the trailer, but obviously it is powering up something, it is scanning the area, so maybe it's like if you run on this treadmill, it scans the map and maybe reveals all the secrets in a sort of small or wider area. This could also ping more areas and secrets and collectibles on the map as well. So next up is something that was actually in the initial first ever leak for Sonic Frontiers, where we can see Sonic here running up to a sort of unknown black and red pink enemy, essentially doing a boost that we saw in the sort of cutscene trailer, where he's got like a boost to a blue trail. He actually draws a ring around the enemy, which then goes to attack it. After drawing the ring around the enemy, it then goes red. It then launches Sonic and the enemy into the air, which Sonic then begins to attack the enemy. Now, something very interesting that you also see later on in the trailer a couple times is how Sonic attacks the enemy. Now, if you ever played Sonic 06, obviously you get to play as Sonic, Shadow and Silver. In that game they all have their gameplay differences, the main one for Shadow being obviously vehicular combat and exploration. But with Shadow, he actually attacks enemies, whereas he also has the homing attack. You can also sort of punch and kick enemies in midair. Sonic does the exact same thing here. As soon as he draws the ring around the enemy, he then launches the enemy up into the air and then starts to punch and kick them, meaning that I think in the game, once we see the HUD, I think we'll be able to see a health bar of some kind, which we can draw down on things like bosses and smaller enemies, where Sonic can punch and kick them in midair, as well as standard homing attacks as well. Next up, on a more boring scale, we could see some more rails with rings on them and some more floating rails, but obviously in the middle of the screen right here we can see some kind of robot covered in rocks and sort of metal orbs, essentially making up the robot. And as Sonic attacks it, as he did before, not only does he do a weird sort of zigzag zip homing attack to deal more damage. He also does the same homing attack as before, where he homing attacks in and then starts punching and kicking. That we then see Sonic do a sort of, if you ever played Sonic Heroes, Sonic's sort of special attack, and that was a kind of like tornado that he could do. It kind of reminds me of that, where Sonic essentially does some kind of tornado and then the robot breaks apart and he destroys it. Next up we get a very nice environmental shot of Sonic grinding on a rail with some rings. We can also see some dash rings in the background that Sonic can most likely launch himself off. We can also see in the background, very sort of hidden away, some more Eggman-esque platforms, followed by sort of a lake area on the right. Followed by, of course, another white icon with a red question mark in the middle of it. Again, I'm not too sure what these are. These could be sort of collectibles hidden on the map. As we do know, this is going to be a fully open world Sonic game, which I'm still sort of getting my head around, to be honest. But this is a very cool shot indeed. So finally ending the trailer with Sonic against maybe a boss or just a bigger enemy in general. So this is very cool. So essentially the enemy spots Sonic, goes to slam down its arm. As it does so, Sonic then runs up the body of the enemy and attacks sort of a monolith structure on its head, surrounded by a red ring, which then Sonic obviously homing attacks and then punches and kicks as normal to attack the enemy, destroying it completely. Now in the background of this shot we can see another one of those big towers that I mentioned at the start. I'm thinking these are something akin to, if you ever played Ubisoft open world game, they have sort of the big towers where you go to the top and maybe it reveals the sort of a section of the map and reveals all the collectibles and everything in between, or it could be what those treadmills are used for. In the background as well we can see sort of floating structures, bridges, Eggman's platforms, like, well, what I presume to be as they are red, metallic, robotic, that sort of thing. We can see floating dash rings, rails, rings, etc. But so far I'm really happy with this gameplay. It looks really good. Just so far I'm getting really happy. I haven't been this sort of invested in a Sonic game since just before Sonic Forces got revealed, but obviously we all know how Sonic Forces went. I'm just really hoping that this game does well. Sega actually previously stated that they expected very high review scores for Sonic Frontiers, and I don't think they've said that in a very long time. In my opinion, the last really good Sonic game was Generations, obviously followed by Colors and Unleashed, but and Sonic Mania as well, of course. But for me, this is probably the last chance Sega have to keep me as a fan, because being a Sonic fan sort of the past 10 years and even more for some people has been very difficult, as things like Lost World, Forces, Sonic Boom come out, and it's like, God. But anyway guys, this gameplay looks really good. I'm very excited. The graphics look brilliant, the gameplay looks brilliant, the exploration looks like it's going to be brilliant, so that's all we can hope for really with an open world Sonic game. I didn't really know what to expect, but this looks very good. I think we are getting some more gameplay and hopefully a reveal date this month. If not, it'll be sort of scattered throughout the year. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you guys think of the trailer footage shown off so far, and are you a fan of the gameplay and the open world? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.